RedZone weather in Brewton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Megginson. A tropical weather update starts right now.
Hurricane Ian moving north into the Gulf of Mexico on this Tuesday morning. Ian is set to approach the Florida Peninsula as a major hurricane as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. Good Tuesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. No hurricane impacts in South Alabama and Northwest Florida today. In fact, plenty of sunshine expected across the region. It's going to feel quite nice, not only this morning, but really extending into the afternoon hours as well. We've got many communities across the region in the low 60s starting out this morning, but by the time we get to 3 o'clock, most spots going to be in the low 80s. A nice day all the way around. By the way, quick note, we will have an elevated wildfire risk today. Just be aware of that if you're conducting a controlled or prescribed burn across the region. Let's shift gears and talk about Hurricane Ian now emerging into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. Ian forecast to become a Category 4 hurricane in the hours ahead and approach the Florida Peninsula, not the Panhandle where we are, but the peninsula, where there could be serious, potentially major impacts near Tampa Bay or perhaps just to the south of there near Fort Myers. Right now, the center of Ian emerging into the southern Gulf of Mexico. You can kind of see it here on the infrared satellite shot, deep convection around the center of circulation, and Ian is going to continue to move north today and ultimately going to move to the northeast, where the center is expected to come on shore, the center of the storm that is, between say Fort Myers and Cape Coral, all the way back up here into the Big Bend region. But unfortunately this morning the forecast remains similar to what we saw last night. The National Hurricane Center continuing to forecast Ian's center moving in somewhere here near the Tampa Bay area as a major hurricane on Wednesday into Thursday. And a hurricane warning is in effect for Tampa Bay and areas just to the south of there on this Tuesday morning. Very concerned about the surge impacts here in the Tampa Bay area and just south of there over the next day or so as this major hurricane or what will be a major hurricane approaches from the southwest. This is one of our projections. This is off the global forecast system and very much in line with that finished product of the official forecast. You know, we've talked about all this model data over the last few days, but this is pretty much on point at this point as far as what you can expect. This is valid at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. Center of circulation coming in somewhere here along the western Gulf Coast of Florida near Tampa or perhaps near Sarasota or Inglewood. And again, we're talking 8 to 10 feet of storm surge near Tampa Bay and areas just to the south. High winds up to around 100 or 110 miles per hour, in addition to 10 to maybe even 20 inches of rain. This hurricane is going to be slowing down as it approaches landfall fairly considerably, and that means that rain amounts and flash flooding will be a concern down here in the Florida Peninsula. By the way, local impacts in South Alabama and Northwest Florida remain unlikely. Maybe some showers as we get into Friday, but overall looking like the heavier rain action going to remain well to our southeast. Probably going to have around 2 inches of rain in places like Panama City and Port St. Joe. Locally, not very much rain at all. I expect showers to be scattered. You can see, though, these rain amounts over Georgia, South Carolina, back into Florida really going to stack up. It's not too often that you see 20 inches of rain on this map, but yes, indeed, could have upwards of 10, 15, maybe even 20 inches of rain near Tampa, Florida over the next few days as the core of Ian approaches from the southwest. Let's shift gears and talk about local impacts here in South Alabama and Northwest Florida. We will have rip currents at local beaches, even though the core of Ian will remain to our southeast. It does look like high waves and rip currents will be a concern at the Alabama and Northwest Florida beaches. In addition, we've got a frontal boundary that's going to sag in here. In combination with Ian, we get pressure gradient winds over the next several days, really starting on Wednesday, extending into Thursday and Friday, and that's going to be region-wide. And so don't be surprised by breezy conditions as we get into the middle and latter half of the week. So in addition to Ian, we also are watching a tropical wave currently situated closer to Africa than the Lesser Antilles, out here over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean. This tropical wave has a high chance of becoming the next tropical storm. Next name, by the way, is Julia. So if this develops, most likely will be Tropical Storm Julia. No threat to land anytime soon, and it probably won't be a threat to land over the course of its life as it moves generally to the northwest. Highs out there today going to feel quite nice in the low 80s closer to the coast, maybe even upper 70s farther inland. And tonight going to feel quite nice. That cooler, drier air going to allow overnight lows to be in the 50s inland, closer to 60 near the immediate coast. So get out and enjoy it today into tonight. Clear skies expected across the region. And let's look at the projected radar for today, because we're not expecting rain anywhere close by. The rain shield associated with Hurricane Ian is well to the south of our local area, really to the southeast. And even into this evening, it does look like there could be a few tornadoes and heavy rain in parts of central and south Florida. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has included parts of South Florida in a level 2 out of 5 severe weather risk today, and that's driven by the tornado potential associated with the approach of Hurricane Ian. And so Tampa, areas near Fort Myers, you've also got part of Lake Okeechobee, the Florida Keys involved in the level 2 out of 5 tornado risk, and that is valid for today. This tornado risk will spread even farther to the east and farther to the north as Ian continues to approach. So tornadoes possible in the Florida Peninsula today, tomorrow, extending into Thursday, maybe even Friday as well. Locally, though, no tornadoes anytime soon. Could have a few showers around on Friday, but I think most of us across the region set to be dry. High temperatures going to be in the 70s over the next few days. Morning lows down around 60 for the most part. Probably going to be actually in the mid 50s by the time we get to Thursday morning. And as we get into the weekend, maybe a few showers around on Saturday, but I think most of it's going to be dry. There will be a good amount of sunshine around this weekend. Highs going to be in the 80s with morning lows around 60 as we go into Saturday and Sunday. I do hope you have a nice Tuesday. Let me know if you have any weather-related questions below. And stay safe if you're in South Florida, Central Florida.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free RedZone weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our RedZone weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.